You have, you're in your old stomping ground. You grew up on the Upper East Side.
I did. I grew up on 82nd, 83rd and East End.
That's amazing.
And I still go there every week.
You do? Yeah. Why? Why do you come up here?
My mom lives there,
Okay.
and I also like to go through Carl Schurz Park, and I like to look at the mayor's mansion. It reminds me of my days growing up and riding my bike and, playhouse, clubhouses.
They still have so many events at Carl Schurz every year for kids and holidays. It's wonderful.
They still do the Christmas lighting.
They do.
And the Hanukkah lighting.
Yes, I love that.
Me too.
I love that. You've been in New York City for decades. You're my first person on this couch that is a born and bred Manhattanite.
I am a born bred. My mother was born on the Lower East Side. My father is from Brooklyn.
I love that. Yeah. What made you decide to stay here? Or was there never a thought to leave?
When you're a native New Yorker, you never know that any other place exists. I mean, you go on vacation to other places, but you're like, why do people live here?
Yeah, yeah. I spoke to someone who was sitting on here, and she goes, my husband and I always talk about leaving, but we don't know where to go.
It's every time I go somewhere, my husband and I seem like we're trendsetters. Every time we go somewhere, and we go, we should live here. Right after that, it becomes very popular, and you read all about it all over social media.
I love that. Yeah, you guys are trendsetters. That's awesome. New York City has changed so much over the years. You probably have seen a ton of shifts. Can you explain one of the biggest shifts you've seen personally or professionally?
Well, everything seems like it changed a lot during COVID. That's when there was the biggest change whatsoever, because everybody that has small businesses in New York City depend on having people walk in and shop.
Yes.
And when COVID happened, everything just went frozen, and there were no people shopping anymore. You had gates on your door. We were open because we're a pharmacy, so we were open, but we weren't open to let people inside.
Right.
I feel that at that time, everybody learned, that's when you could say TikTok saved our life.
Yeah. I know, we're going to get into that. It's an incredible, incredible story. If you could bring back one thing, old school New York City, what would you bring back?
The neighborhood.
How has it changed?
All the neighborhoods. All the neighborhoods became like all big box stores. It's no more personality. I would say that we need to have small stores with personality.
I agree. Yeah. I was just speaking to someone who lives on the Upper West Side, and I feel like you do see more of that than on the East Side. When we're talking about Upper Manhattan, more mom and pop shops that bring...
Mom and pop shops are great, but they need to be run like large corporations, but as mom and pop.
Oh, right. Okay, so you opened Thompson Chemists with your husband, Gary, in 1994. Explain the biggest challenge of starting a business.
Biggest thing is finance, when you don't have it and you have to do it on your own. So my husband built every shelf in every piece of that floor with his uncle.
That's awesome.
By themselves.
Yeah.
And how he got, do you want to know how he got there?
Yes.
Okay. So he was working at Village Apothecary, which was a store in the West Village, and Mike Connon was the owner at the time. And he always told Mike how he wanted to open his own store. So we were walking around Soho with a friend of mine from Paris, and we went to brunch at a French bistro, and we started walking around the neighborhood, and he saw a store that was for rent. And he goes, this is going to be Thompson Chemists.
And it was.
And that's how he did it. And everybody told him he would never survive because the store was like a 2x2.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. What is something people don't know about having a small independent pharmacy in New York City?
They don't know how difficult it is to make a living.
Yeah. Yeah. How have you maintained that small business feel with that competitive New York City nature?
Be good to your customers.
Yeah, explain that.
Treat the customers like they're your family. The kids are like your kids. I mean, we have people that they leave their kids to go to NYU and whatever, and they're like, can my kids shop here when we're not here? Can we leave a credit card? I'm like, of course. Aww. So, we take care of their kids like they're our kids, and we learned that during COVID also. I mean, so many of them, can you drop it off in front of my door? Can you put it on the steps?
Yeah, I think that's been one of your biggest key to success is the way you deal. It's not even dealing with customer service. It's just your natural ability to connect with every human that walks in the store.
Yeah, it's like being in a show every day.
Yeah, you could tell that. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but you can definitely tell that all over your social media. And I think a lot of people miss that today when they're building a business.
My husband and I both like to do things with our heart.
You could tell that. You could tell that. You and your husband, Gary, who's known as the medicine man.
Absolutely.
And your
Mama J.
Your Mama J. I love that. Your store is obviously a pharmacy, so it offers everyday essentials, but it's you've created a space where you also offer high-end cosmetics and skincare, especially those hard to find French cult faves that have people coming to your store over and over again and talking about it. Plus, you've also created a few of your own products, and you've curated other brands that have come in the store that have resonated with your clients. And on top of that, you offer live music every couple weeks or every month?
Every second, fourth, and lucky fifth Tuesday of the month from 6 to 8. There's free music. It's bluegrass. And Kat, who's the sheriff and the deputy, she's the one that named us Mama J and the Medicine Man, because she made the Thompson Street Medicine Show theme song.
That's great. So you transformed your pharmacy into this community hub where people can gather and
it's the old Greenwich Village. It's the way it's supposed to be.
That is incredible, and I love that. How did this unique vision come about? Or did it just evolve over the years?
You mean with the music?
With everything. Did you start in '94?
We started in 1994, and how we started the business was my husband had empty shelves. And he also worked at Newton Timmerman, which was a place on 61st in Lexington where he learned all about elegant people and Upper East Side. It wasn't just the village, you know.
Sure.
And he realized that the way to start a business is you need to put things on your shelf, but you don't know what.
Okay.
How do you do that? What's your name? Stephanie?
Yes.
Okay. You live in the neighborhood?
Yes.
What products do you like to use?
Wow.
And then you would say, I like La Roche-Posay Cicaplast B5. And say, okay, 1 second. Because he met Elise, who was a French lady who, you know, she passed away a few years ago, but Elise used to take care of Newton Timmerman. Gary kept her card. He said, one day I'm going to open a pharmacy. And she said, when you do, call me. He called her. He told her, you know, what he wanted to do and his visions and having shelves. And she came with tons of products. Wow. But guess what? They were all French cult products.
Wow.
In 1994.
Wow.
That are on our shelves today. But we had them there then. And that was before we had anything else on our shelves. Wow. We had all this beautiful mirrors from Janeke and products from La Roche-Posay, deodorants from Vichy, Biafine. Everything was on my shelf. And Gary's like, he told her, Elise, it's nice that my shelves are full, but I have to pay you and I don't know. She goes, you will pay me, don't worry. And that's how we started.
That's amazing. So you're selling these hard to find. By the way, they've lasted through the test of time because they are still
there's
incredible,
now, yeah.
and everyone wants them. And then you're also selling Advil and prescriptions, and then you just kind of build. Wow, wow.
Also French Advil.
French Advil. What's the difference?
400 milligrams for one tablet, as opposed to 220.
Interesting. Thanks for the heads up. How did you find these hard to find? Were they hard to find back then?
Actually, it was always things that are hard to find.
Okay.
But we found them through our cultural customers that were, you know, international. And Soho was a very French community.
I didn't know
at the
that.
time. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
At the time, everybody was French. Everybody was a modeling agency. Everybody traveled to France. So, like, do you have this? Do you have this? Do you have this? That's how.
And you speak 5 languages.
I grew up, not to sound snobby, but I grew up half the time between here and the south of France in Monte Carlo.
Oh, wow.
So I knew all about, you know.
Yeah, you did. So this came from a place of knowledge. Yeah. So what a concept to build your business by speaking to the people that come into your store and asking them what they would like.
We do the same thing today.
Yeah, you still do. You ask people what they're looking for. You also created your own products. So what made you decide to also offer your own, and how did you decide what to offer?
My husband's a chemist.
Yeah.
And he likes mixing up the medicine.
That's really cool. I know, I didn't mention, I called him the medicine man. I didn't mention he's a chemist.
But he's true. He truly is. He went to Long Island University, and he's a pharmacist. So,
yes.
But a pharmacist that likes to create.
Right.
You know, he loves art. He loves music. You know, everybody loves our music choices.
Yeah.
Everybody loves our art. That's part of Soho.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So what did you create? What brands did you create?
Oh, me? I just curate things.
What did he create?
He created CBD products. Yeah. He created space capsules, which are to relax. They're made with CBD. Mm-hmm. He created 40 Winks, which is melatonin, CBD, and CBN. He created Heart Force, which is a lot of berberine. He created a probiotic.
Wow.
For a daily flora. He created one that goes with antibiotics. He just likes to keep creating.
Yeah, but then how did you had a pulse and you were bringing brands and products in, filling your store, and people seem to love everything that you have, down to your hairbrushes that you choose.
Our hairbrushes are amazing.
I know. I'm going to come in. My daughter and I were like,
we'll give you a discount.
Thank you.
And anybody that's on the podcast will have a discount.
You're the best, Jolie. Mama J, how do you know what to find? Or you can't always be asking for everything. You have a feel.
Well, no, people send stuff all the time, and most of the time we just put it on the side and don't even look at it.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a lady. Her name is Lorenza. And she's created a brand called Butter. And she has an interesting story. She's a yoga teacher and a yogi, and we had her, so I guess we've been selling her since she started like 15 years ago. In her original store. She started with little bottles, a body oil. And body oil just smells so good. It's like so memorable that once you use it, you can't use anything else. So then she created a face oil. So then we have the face oil. Then there's another, I have a black lab. It was a puppy because our dog Rigo passed away last year. And
I'm sorry.
He was very, very young and we couldn't save him. And we kept looking. Rigo is a tough dog. He was very friendly, but not to everybody. So my husband wanted to get a super friendly dog, so he got a black lab.
Is he in the pharmacy?
He's always in the pharmacy.
He's your mascot.
He's our mascot, and he goes to the Soho Grand Dog Park all the time. So there he met Peter Clarkson. And Peter one day walked in, he goes, I never thought about you before, but this is my brand. It's Protege, and it's a aloe-based serum, and it's absolutely the most incredible serum that I've ever used in my life. Of course, I didn't use it for like 2 or 3 weeks. I put it on the side, because we have so much stuff to try.
Sure.
And I tried, I'm like, oh my God, this is like the most amazing serum I've ever used in my life.
Yeah.
Introduced him to Butter. They're now married, not really married, but the product, they love each other.
Oh, wow.
So these are my indie shelves. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm so proud because
yes, you should be.
They met each other, they love each other.
You should be.
And then we have another company that's over there. It's like one shelf of our favorite products. And they're not French.
That's okay. That's okay. We love French products, but it doesn't have to be French to be incredible.
No.
Speaking of partnerships, you and your husband have been married and business partners.
24 hours, 7 days a week.
Well, what's the key to making it work, professionally and personally?
You got to listen to each other and learn from each other.
Yeah.
You can't fight with each other. If you fight with each other, it wastes time. And then you lose your breath, and then you lose the day. Every day is a creation, so every day we have to make the day work.
That's beautiful. Yeah. That's really great.
We're married since 1991.
Really, really, that is something to be really proud of. Do you have a customer story you could share that really meant a lot to you? I'm sure you have a million.
There's a lot of them, but I guess for a podcast and with you, the most interesting one would be, because this is a lot of women.
Yes.
Would be when we opened our store. They're like a lot of great stories. I mean, one's Miles Plumlee, who's a basketball player.
Wow.
He's like about 7 foot something, and I stood on a stool on the ladder, the highest point, and I still was shorter than him. But the best one would be Sarah Jessica Parker, who's still a client of ours. When Gary opened the store, Gary used to always do his spiel. I don't know if everybody knows what spiel means, and it would be like, well, we carry all products. If there's products that you want that we don't have, please just tell us. We'll get it for you. We'll carry it for you. Give us your address, we can deliver to you, just anything you want, any medicines, if you have kids, whatever you need and want. So she listened to him and went around the store and the shelves and told him what she likes and whatever, and was listening to him go on and on and on about everything, that he could do. And then the next day the phone rings and somebody calls to make an order. So this is Sarah Jessica Parker on the phone, but he doesn't know. The woman's on the phone. She goes, my name is Sarah, and I'd like to place an order. This is my address, and these are the things that I would like. So Gary started telling her, oh, by the way, if you need delivery, if you need special things for children like diapers, or you want French skincare, we have it all. She goes, Gary, Sarah Jessica, I was there yesterday. Don't you remember?
Did he know who she was
No.
when he was speaking to her? That's even better.
We have every celebrity in the world come to our store. And why do they love to come to Thompson Chemists? Because we don't care.
You don't care. They're just another human walking in.
We have Femke, Femke Jensen. She comes all the time. Another favorite story is, do you like the Grateful Dead?
Yes.
Okay, so my husband, he said he's been best friends with the Grateful Dead since he was 12 years old. In his mind.
In his head, right, got it.
So one day, our old store was a lot smaller than this one. One day, a gentleman comes in, and he's holding a prescription in his hand, and I ask him if I can help him. Big glasses, long hair. And I look at the name, I'm like, it's Phil Lesh. Oh, my God. So I don't say anything. Gary's helping people in the front of him. Gary, there's somebody here to see you. He goes, yeah, 1 second, I'm a little busy. I'm like, Gary, there's somebody here to see you. He goes, 1 minute, I told you I'm busy. I'm doing something. I'm like, this is really important. So he doesn't listen, and then I put it right in front of his face. He goes, holy shit, I've been your friend since I'm 12 years old.
my
I
gosh.
can't believe you're here.
Aww.
And he goes, are you Gary the chemist? He goes, yeah. Are you Phil Lesh? He goes, Gary, everybody in the neighborhood says you're the best pharmacist.
Oh, that's incredible.
And we took care of him ever since.
But wait, is there a story also of music collaboration of two people that met in your store that collaborated?
Oh, yeah, that would be the Beastie Boys. That would be
Yes.
Adam and Phil. They met each other. Gary introduced them to each other. And Adam was like, the first concert that I ever went to was a Grateful Dead concert. And then he told them the whole story about, how they wanted to do this song. And yeah.
And so they met in the store, and then they made that collaboration
Yes.
happen. That is such a New York City moment. I love
It happens all the time in Thompson Chemists. Everybody meets each other. Everybody knows each other. This is what's missing in New York.
This is. And
the
that's-
old stories. Everybody
Yes,
connecting to one
yes.
another. Everything is on.
Yeah.
I love social media,
Yeah.
but contact is so nice.
Yeah, yeah. The cool thing about social media is that they can find you.
True.
But that's
But that's
why-
still missing the contact.
I know, and that's why I wanted you here today. You are the quintessential idea of what New York City was, is,
And should be.
be.
Yeah.
Right, that walking down the street, someone says your name. You're kind of like the Cheers of the pharmacy world.
Everybody
Everyone
knows your name.
It's just, and people say hi, and you walk in, and you're known. That's the beauty of New York City. It's like grabbing your cup of coffee and them knowing your name and knowing what coffee you like. That's
It makes our
the
day
magic.
happy. Sometimes people are very unhappy and uncomfortable, and sometimes when they walk into the pharmacy, they just come in, just have a cup of coffee, or
You give
and
coffee. You serve coffee.
We used to serve coffee, but now I don't. But I will again, because
Let me know. I'll come by.
You come by for coffee.
Maybe I'll bring
We
you.
we do our own thing, which is called Coffee Talk. Which is like with people come in
Yeah.
and they talk about their products.
I've
and
seen.
I talk, yeah,
I've
so.
seen. What are your favorite? What are the must-have products in your store? Can you throw out?
Everything's a must-have. My favorite go right to the indie products,
Okay.
because I love Aven and I love La Roche-Posay. My favorite is my best friend. His name is Philip B, and he makes the best hair care in the entire world. Smell my hair.
Smells amazing. Smells amazing.
That's Forever Shine. It doesn't get
Smells
better. And
amazing.
Mega Curl.
It smells very high-end, actually.
His heart is in his heart and soul is in every product that he makes. Every product that he makes is like his baby. So that's why we're best friends.
That's awesome.
Is because we love what we do so much.
yeah, great
And he loves to
collaboration.
create. We love to create. We love people. He has celebrity galore.
I'm going to come in and grab some.
I'll give you some too. Try them too.
What French products are all the women coming in for right now?
Well, everybody wants Cicaplast B5. Everybody wants Biafine. Everybody wants homeoplasmine. Everybody wants Illucet, which is a hyaluronic acid. And everybody wants, can you guess? A313. It's the
I've seen
retinol.
it. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
On your page, it's everywhere.
It's
Everyone
everywhere on
loves
our
it.
page.
And you've got the
Everybody
lip
loves it.
oils that people love, and the oil, lip oils for your lips.
We have all these girls who are like
Yeah.
16, 17, 18 years old, and they want to use it. So we
Because
have
they're
to tell
obsessed with
they're obsessed
skincare.
with French cults.
Right. Do you tell them to stay away from retinol?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, most people are in it to make money, so like other places will just let everybody buy everything, but we actually listen to them, and
Thank
I
you.
let them
First
tell
of
me
all-
that they would like to use Botox. I'm like, for what?
First of all, thank you for that, because I have a teenager, and what I've seen being pushed towards teens that are for aging skin and whatnot, it's like, and the kids are breaking out. There's no need.
They start getting acne and breaking out and pimples
because
from
their
using
skin's
stuff.
already
They
perfection.
can't handle it.
Right, and their skin's already gorgeous.
Yeah,
anyway.
They can't handle all this stuff. If you can't be gorgeous at 14, then
I know. Yeah, I feel like the kids need to go through more of a.
Children need to have a facial wash, to cleanse their
Yes.
skin. And then if they have pimples or whatever, they
Yes.
need to use something light that's corrective for that.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily need to go to dermatologists and
No.
doctors and this and that.
No.
They just need to clean their
So
face.
simple.
They need to wash their hands before, because it's always contact dermatitis, because
Yes.
they're touching.
Yeah.
And then they break out.
You should do a video just for teen girls. All parents need to figure. Some parents.
You think
don't
they'll
even
let their parents watch it?
No. I feel like parents don't even know what
The parents
necessarily
learn
to
from
do.
their kids.
Yeah, really. Because just because you're an adult doesn't mean you know.
No, I
products.
have,
The kids
I
are
have
learning.
mothers and daughters coming in, and the daughters coming in, Mom, you need this.
Yeah,
Mom, you need
yeah.
this.
Because the kids actually have so much more knowledge than we did.
They
back
actually
in the
listen
day.
to this.
Yes, yes, they do.
Because they're always scrolling.
I know, on TikTok, I know. My daughter's not even on it, but she knows all the trends somehow. I love your story of how you went viral on social media. Can you explain how this whole thing came about?
Well, when COVID, I should have done this during COVID. We probably would have been a millionaire now. And
When was it? After COVID?
It happened, I guess, like right after COVID. But we should have done it. Everybody's like, why don't you do this? We were just thinking about the health and people not dying, because we lost people during that time, and we couldn't think about it. Unfortunately, we're not that type of husband and wife. Otherwise, we'd probably be retired.
But let's be honest, we're not the TikTok generation. I mean, that's way younger.
My kids told me for years, do TikTok, do this.
Yeah.
But I used to do TikTok and dance with them, or sing a silly song. I didn't know it was going to become a social media with people that are influencing and making.
Well, I give you credit for even being open to it. So explain your incredible story.
So we just, for fun, we started. My friend Philip was in Japan with, and he took my products that were the CBD products, and we're taking pictures of it. And so when he took the pictures of it, I took the pictures of it, and I started putting it on social media. And we get a few likes, not that much.
Yeah.
And then we just kept doing it every day. And one day, there's a young girl named Gabriella who works for us also, and she works in the summers. And I put my phone down next to her. She was working on, the computer, and she goes, "I think we just went viral." I went, "What?" She goes, "Look at this. The numbers keep going up and up and up and up." And sure enough, that's how it started.
What was the video? What was
it was
it
just
about?
I lined up all the French cold products, and I put some French music in the background.
And that's what happened.
And that's what happened. Then I'm like, oh my God. And then we just kept doing it. We kept doing it anyway. Because we had nothing, we really didn't have anything to do. There were no customers walking through the door.
Sure.
So I had plenty of time to do all of.
Were you selling online already?
We were selling online for 15 years, but not like this.
Wow.
Then all of a sudden people started ordering.
So if people look on your social media, I think that's what makes you just a literal gem in New York City. How natural you are. You meet people at the store at the front.
Let's say something great. I have a girl that works for me. Her name is Yurit, and she comes from Israel. I forgot to tell you this part of the story. So we opened in 1994. Yeah. She was on a car outside of the store talking to people, because her friends lived in the neighborhood. My husband's family is Israeli. My mother-in-law was visiting, and she started speaking to her. "Oh, you're Israeli?" She goes, "Yeah." And so they started speaking Hebrew to each other. She told her, go look at CVS and go see the prices of the items over there, and and tell me how much they are, and tell my son, because my son's opening a pharmacy. And then she said, "Are you working?" She goes, No, I don't work now. I'm looking for a job. She goes, "You have one." So she hired her.
Wow.
And she still works for me today.
Oh, that's really great.
And my mother-in-law was also a part of it too, because she went to the local bar on the corner called My Ladies. I forgot to include this before. And she said,
I've been to that bar many times.
So she said to them, "Hey, does anybody know where there's a pharmacy in the neighborhood?" And everybody looked, and they were like, she goes, "I know where there's one. My son's opening one down the street, and they have sandwiches for today because it's an opening day. So go get food."
Who needs PR when you have moms?
Exactly.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Yeah. If people watch your social media, you're just talking to customers, just literally with a camera saying, "Hey, what's in your basket?"
But people like that. They like to feel included.
I've watched a million of them. I literally can't stop watching them. It's just so natural and real, and you're just talking about what's in their basket and where they're from. And women from all ages are coming from all over to your store specifically to get these cult faves and other products.
They want to be included.
They want to be included.
Yeah.
That's great. And these influencers who saw you online are then sharing with their audiences. Has there been unexpected moments with?
Yeah, sometimes there's tons of people inside the store.
Yeah, what do you do?
I throw them samples.
I've read that before. You throw samples out, and it's like
and then we can win something.
One big party.
Whatever. There's a lot of people. We'll win something. You have to have fun.
Joly, I think you don't take things so seriously. You just kind of reinvent. It sounds so fancy. You're not even thinking about it like this, but you're reinventing yourself all the time. But you really are just having a good time.
That's why we don't want people to copy us. So you can't.
I don't think anybody could copy you. That's what makes you guys so special.
YOLO. You only live once from your kids.
Yes, yeah, exactly. What advice would you give to small businesses who want to grow their social media presence?
Passion.
Yeah.
You have to be passionate about what you're doing. You can't just open a business. You can't just open a restaurant. You can't just open a pharmacy.
Yeah.
You have to be passionate. You have to feel it out. What do you want to do?
You're right.
Because independent is probably the most important thing in the world, is to have independence, because your children now can look up and see what they want to do, as opposed to a big corporation.
Yes.
I mean, we have a friend, he owns the Mermaid Inn, which is all over the city.
Yeah.
And he wrote, during COVID, he wrote how important it is to have a small business. Yeah. How people don't realize how much money is being spent and earned, and small companies are working because of small businesses.
Right. This is just a random thought. When you have your live music, are people filtered out into the street and just
on the other side of the street, on the corner, we have a speaker that's outside.
You're very New York. You just hit the camera. That's so New York.
Let people have fun. Let them dance. Let them enjoy themselves. Babies come, dogs come, old people come, people in wheelchairs come.
Yeah, because you also are a pharmacy. You sell, rent things, right? People can rent items from you, and health. Yeah. What's next for you guys? Do you even think like that? I mean, what do you see?
I don't think like that. I mean, we think about today. We probably should think about tomorrow.
I don't know.
Too,
There's this flexibility about you guys, and it's almost like you take your job and your store seriously, but there's a not taking yourself seriously where you're able to have a good time. But that's part of the fun. People want that. People want that connection these days.
I feel it's a necessity.
I think so too.
We have to look at the today and the future for our children.
Yeah.
So,
I think New York City is incredible, but could also be really transient and feel lonely at times. And you guys literally are a piece of family that people may not be close to or don't have, or can grow. They walk in, they feel seen.
I'd like to grow. I'd like to have, maybe right now we're just a husband and wife, and we do this on our own. But maybe in the future, maybe somebody will want to join us. So maybe somebody will want to build it and take it to another city or whatever. I mean, Gary and I are open to anything and everything.
They have to duplicate you guys, though.
Well, we can be cut out.
Yeah. I don't know if that'd be hard to do. I mean, you guys literally are the magic of the store. But yeah, that's good to know.
Well, you can always find maybe somebody that wants to do it, or maybe they want to do it for their kids, or you don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows? Where we have to follow the path.
And you're open.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of my own lightning round questions, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Answering. You're here. I have to gain from your knowledge. What are your favorite hidden gems in Soho? You are one.
Oh God.
Do you have any?
Favorite gems? My favorite is the dog park, the basketball court where you can take your dog to run and play.
Yeah.
Fellini's coffee.
That's your favorite coffee?
I love the coffee from Fellini's.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
12 Chairs.
What's that?
12 Chairs is an Israeli restaurant on McDougal Street.
Good to know.
Burger America.
Okay.
Great guy, George Motz, who travels
Is that where you're
all
going?
over the place.
You're going to all these spots?
I go to these spots all the time.
Yeah.
Arturo's Pizza. It's Lisa. We call her Lisa Pizza because it's Lisa.
Yeah.
She's got a little dog, and she's she's part of the community. I mean, she walks around with Frankie, her little dog. And she makes you feel. She's the pizza person.
That's great.
She's like the place you want to go to listen to jazz. They have music in Arturo's every day.
Great.
The hat shop is really nice. That's Linda. Mm-hmm. She's unique.
Yeah.
That's a favorite. Brigadeiro, which is like a little Brazilian place on Sullivan Street where you can get their Brazilian brigadeiros are like condensed milk treats. They have like chocolate inside of it.
Delicious, yeah.
And they make cafezinho, which is like Brazilian coffee.
Okay.
What else?
I think this is great. I envision you walking down your streets in Soho and just waving to everyone as you're like
Villa
walking
Mosconi.
Okay.
It's on McDougal Street too. Jerry owns it. Old-fashioned Italian food, the best that you can eat.
Oh, I'll be there.
Do you like artichokes?
Yeah.
They make the best.
Good to know. Oh my gosh, this is great. Okay, one word to describe New York City right now.
It needs a word. The word's missing. New York City's precious.
Yeah.
It's New York City should be like a jewelry box, but it's precious.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. What is one word to describe Soho in the 90s versus now?
Fabulous.
I know. I wasn't there in the 90s, but
in the 90s they had Rizzoli. They had Rizzoli Bookstore, Tre Merli. It was just everywhere you turned. There was Norma Kamali.
Yeah.
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 Oh my God. There's so many different boutiques that were like they were like mom and pop boutiques,
Yeah.
but they were big designers.
How would you describe it now?
Too much big business.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Too many like Gaps or Sephora.
Yeah.
You know, people when they see things like that, they think it's New York, but it's not, because it's Chicago, Wisconsin,
Yeah, you're right.
Indiana. Everywhere you go, there's a Sephora.
It's like Broadway.
It's like Broadway. It's not the same.
Yeah.
And Bloomingdale's isn't unique like it used to be. You know.
Right. Right.
Unique should be the word.
Yeah. I was going to ask what was your fave celeb moment in the store, but you might have answered it.
There's so many.
Yeah, because they're just regulars that are
just regular
in.
people that walk in, and you just treat them like that.
That's probably why
A$AP Rocky. He used to come especially just all the time to get his vitamins.
That's
Yeah, I never knew who he was.
What's the most New York City thing that's ever happened in your store? Like, for instance, I was at lunch yesterday in Tribeca, and we looked out the window, and we saw a man with a dog, medium-sized dog, just standing on his shoulders, just walking nonchalantly down the street. And we just went like this.
Well, we have a lady who comes with her parrot and her backpack all
Does
the time.
she live up
Alice.
here?
No, she lives at Charlton Street.
We have a woman up here with a parrot just nonchalantly walking on 86th Street all the time. It's incredible.
She comes in with it in her backpack. Yeah. And then we have people that walk their cats on, on leashes.
Yeah.
And then we have another guy that has a huge white bird that talks also. And
So you've got a lot of animals.
Yeah, I mean, there's like so many different moments. I mean, you can just sit outside and watch all day, and there's always an incredible moment.
I know.
It's like live TV.
It really is. You could just sit out and people watch all day. Do you have a chair outside?
We do. We have benches and chairs outside so that the neighborhood can sit outside.
Sit and hang out.
And people that come to the music show all sit outside, like when it's warm outside.
I didn't think to ask this, but for someone who's living in New York City, how do you think they can capture that magic that you guys put out?
They have to come visit us.
Come to your store.
They have to come visit us, or you can watch it. The other night, we were talking about social media, so sometimes I go live on TikTok, and I didn't realize this. You tell the sheriff, "Happy birthday! Today's sheriff's birthday."
Okay,
so,
happy birthday.
And so I told him a few weeks ago, like a couple of months ago, I'm like, we have 1,000 people watching on TikTok.
That's a lot.
Now I'm like, am I seeing right? There are 5,000 people watching on TikTok, and they join and they say hello, and then they ask questions.
Yes.
And, so I'm like, how do I do this? How do I do this?
Who's helping you in the background?
Nobody.
Wow, you're doing a good job.
I'm trying to figure it out. I call my kids and ask them too. So Gary knows how to work the internet.
He does? Yeah. That's impressive.
Pharmacist, he can fix watches, glasses.
That's cool. Literally a one-stop shop.
It's a one-stop shop.
Yeah. We didn't even talk about your kids. How is raising 3 kids in New York City?
Well, we lived in Murray Hill, which is on 36th
Which has
Park.
changed a lot.
Woo.
A lot.
We
Even
didn't
in the
know
past
it was
15.
we didn't know it wasn't the neighborhood, but then when we got there and our kids went to PS 116, we found our neighborhood. Yeah. But I think that wherever we would be, we could always find our neighborhood.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that is how you also make, besides going to your store at New York City or home, just talk to people. Everyone wants a connection.
It's good advice for anybody.
I know. Stop looking at your phone and just look at people and have a conversation.
It's funny that you said stop looking at your phone. So last year we went to Siesta Keys in Florida.
Well, yes.
I've never been to that side. We always go to Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach, So Gary wanted to go to Siesta Key, and when we went to Siesta Key, we were like, wow, people are normal here. Yeah. We went to dinner. There were kids having dinner with their parents, and they were all talking to each other, and nobody had their phone. It was, it was the most incredible, we spoke about it.
It's really funny you said that. My husband and I just went to South Beach, and kids were just quietly sitting with their families. It was talking. It's funny, I noticed the same thing.
And they were talking about meaningful things, not about everything else going on in the world, but actually talking about themselves.
Yes, yeah, I know. It's possible, right?
It is possible. We have to live in a large world, and we have to learn to enjoy the world that we live in.
Yeah. Well, you are a really good example of that. So I just want to thank you for sitting with me today. Again, I saw you and I was like, this podcast is about amazing women in New York City doing wonderful things. How you are doing that, and you have been doing that. So thank you for keeping that piece of New York City going.
And I appreciate you bringing me to tell me that I'm a great a woman.
You're no problem. You are incredible, and I just want to thank you. You are crazy, and I'm sure your phone's blowing up because you've got a million things going on today. So thank you so much.
Oh my God, I had a lot of fun. I'm really glad that you called me to do this.
I'm so glad you were here, so thank you.
Thank you.